compilation of all the questions I've gotten so far from the last two videos I did regarding how to get your Nigerian passport from the comfort of your home in the UK. So the first question I usually got, and it was more than 5, was, do I need NIN in application of my passport? Yes, you do need NIN, because your NIN is one of the documents from Nigeria which shows that you're a national from Nigeria. So it does help because your details on the NIN automatically gets transported to the embassy, and the details in your NIN are the details that will show in your passport. So make sure your date of birth, your name and everything is correct on your NIN before you apply. If not, the errors in your NIN reflect automatically in your passport. So if you have any issue with your NIN, you can reach out to me on 073983023 and I'll help you to sort this. Okay, please note it comes with a fee though. Yeah. So the second question is, I am stuck. It shows eligibility failed. What do I do? Now, all you need to do is to refresh. Then after refreshing, you make sure you try to apply for this by between 12 a.m. 4 a.m. in the morning. Network can be very friendly, in aspect of Nigerian website, to be honest. Yeah, and also I would advise you use the website to apply. It's easier to navigate using the website to apply than using your app to do your biometrics. The third question is, do I need to wait for an email before sending out my envelope and documents? No, you don't need to wait for email before sending this down. So once you've done everything and it's successful on the website, all you need to do is to send it down to the embassy. You don't need. However, after 1 week, you'll be getting an email, acknowledging that they've received your documents and they've commenced work on your documents. The next question is, when can I start applying for my passport? Do I need to wait for it to expire before applying, or when? Just advice. So the best, from the website, it says as once it's 6 months to expiration, you can apply for renewal of your passport. Okay, I did mine when mine had already expired, and it took me about 2 to 3 weeks to get everything sorted. Okay, so the next question is, my passport is lost. What do I do? Okay, if your passport gets lost, there is a section in the website for lost passports. All you need to do is to log into there and apply for your lost passport. Just make sure you have the details for the old passport. Next one is, what's the cost of application? So the cost of application depends on the number of years you want to apply. So we've got for 5 years and we've got one for 10 years. So just budget between £200 to £350 to £400, because if you're going to do that and you want to do self biometrics, contactless, you have to pay for all this. So just budget between £200 to £400. So if there's any change, you can keep it. Okay. Next question is, can I apply on a device and use another device to pay? Because yes, you can. That's what I did actually, because I tried to log out. I tried to minimize my phone and pay. Then when I got back, it already logged me out. So yes, that's a good one. So another question is, my status shows waiting for approval. What do I do? All you need to do is just to wait till it gets approved. But if it's taking time, taking up to 1 month, you can just email the support and they will help you. Okay, biometric gets stuck at 60 to 70%. What do I do? So all you need to do is, I once had that issue when I was doing mine, so I had to wait till 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. to get this sorted. So make sure your thumbs and everything you're going to scan is scar free. There's no wound on it, and make sure it's clean so that it's able to capture quickly. Make sure that your phone is eligible for capturing fingerprints. Okay, now the next question is, my passport keeps getting rejected. Yeah, if your passport keeps getting rejected, then the pixel you're using is not the right pixel. So what you need to do is either go to the professional photographers to get this taken for you, or you take the picture with your phone and go to I love image, I love img. It's a website where you can minimize it to the desired pixel and format being asked. Okay, so make sure you do that. In fact, to save you all the stress, you can just go to a professional photographer and get your passport. Question is, when I try to create my account, it will ask me for reference number and ID. I don't have this. What do I do? So all you need to do is just go to the website and create an account. Once you're done creating your account, then you'll be able to get a reference number and ID that will enable you to be logging in whenever you want to log in. How long does it take before your passport gets ready? So for mine, it took me 2 weeks exactly from the day I posted this video to the day it got brought to my home. So 2 weeks, and I would say 2 to 3 weeks so that you manage the expectation. However, I've noticed that some people's own are taking up to 1 month. If yours is taking that long, all you need to do is to email the support and query why it's taking that long. So the next question is how can I apply for my kids? So I made a video regarding how you can apply for your kids, but you need to understand that you cannot do contactless for your kids. You have to take them to London. So for further advice, and just watch my video on how to do this for your kids. Okay. Then the next question is, does this work outside of the UK, Germany? In Germany, US. I think it does work there. I made my research and it does work. All you need to do is to research and see how it's done in your country. The next question is, my face is unable to be captured. What do I do? So all you need to do is to make sure that you're using good lighting and you're using a good phone that is able to capture your face for the biometrics. Okay, yeah. And make sure you use a stable network. So just like I advise, do it between 12 to 4 a.m. and hopefully it gets sorted for you. Then the next one is, how do I book an appointment after approval? So just like it is contactless, you don't need to book another appointment after it's been approved. Your payment has been approved since it's contactless. However, for you to get to this point we're talking about is if you want to go to London to do the biometrics yourself, that's when you now book for appointment. But if you're applying for contactless, which is what I'm talking about, then you have to just go and sort it with your phone. Okay. Then the next question is, should I print the document in color or in black and white? I used black and white. I didn't see any need for using colored, but if you want to make it posh or tush, you can use colored, but I used black and white. All that matters is that the reference ID and your payment ID are all in there, so you don't really need whether it's black and white or color. So but I use black and white. Then the next question is, does it work if my passport is already expired? Of course it does work. It does work. So you can apply, because that's what I did. Mine was already expired and I applied and it got approved. So the next one is, I forgot to write details on my return envelope. What should I do? Well, most of the times I will advise people to send an email to the support, indicating that. But because you already have your details and everything, sometimes they will be kind enough to fill out this detail for you and send it back to you. Okay. Then another question is, Can I use an iPhone in applying for this? Of course. You know, the last video I said I wasn't sure, but I've seen someone that said that they've used iPhone and it worked for them. So you might as well try your iPhone to see if it's going to work for you. The next question is, I'm done with the application. How do I print it out? You know, yes, that's a very good question. What I did was I took a screenshot of my application page and the payment page. Then I now printed it out. That was it. That was what I did. So I didn't start looking for how to download or, you know, to save myself stress. But I just took a screenshot and printed them out. That's what I did. And it's because it's showing the reference ID and all the details needed. That's what matters. Then the next question is, can you help me to apply? Yes, I can help you to apply, but you have to pay me. Currently, I'm a breastfeeding mom, and my nights are my morning now. I'm actually doing this video at exactly 4 o'clock a.m. and because I'm always awake between 12 to 4 a.m. for this time, I can help you apply so we can do it together, but that's going to come with a fee. So if you want to know more, still reach out to me on 073 983023, and also I'm going to put in a link where you can and get a one-to-one with me. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.